Hello, and welcome back. Last night I went to see the Indo-British American writer Salman Rushdie read from his latest book, The 11th Hour, a quintet of stories. It's 5 short stories of different characters that are facing the inevitability of death because they're all in their golden years. They're all older. Um, it was a really great, it was really nice listening to Salman Rushdie read parts of 2 of his stories. I started reading the first story while I was waiting for the lecture to begin. It's called In the South. It's about 2 old Indian men who live in Madras, which is now called Chennai in India, in the south of India, and how they live in apartments right next to each other. And they're best friends, but they're very grumpy with each other every day because they don't want to admit how much one means to the other and how much they love each other. And one is called Senior and the other one is called Junior because he's like 15 days younger than the other guy, than Senior. And Senior has no family members who are still alive to visit him, to bring him food or presents, or to take him out just to go around. Passeando, as they'd say in Portuguese. And I think Junior has tons of family members. And so they adopt Senior, or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe Senior has all the family members and then they adopt Junior as one of theirs. So they also bring him presents and talk to him and include him as part of the family. So Salman Rushdie is now 78 years old. He's going to be 79 this year. He was born in Bombay in what was still British India on the 19th of June, 1947. He studied at Cambridge University, as his father did also. And he studied at King's College. And he talked about that last night, about how he met the great British writer E.M. Forster, who wrote many, many, many good books. And he also wrote that very famous book, A Passage to India, which has been turned into movies and miniseries. And of course, E.M. Forster was gay. And he said at the time, E.M. Forster was probably in his 90s, and Salman Rushdie was 19 years old. But he said that after E.M. Forster met him, when he realized that Salman Rushdie was from India, he became interested in him and they became good friends. So I thought that was really interesting. Salman Rushdie graduated from Cambridge University, King's College in 1968. And that was after he had immigrated to England in 1961. He's known for his magic realism style of writing, satire, and his post-colonial look at things. He said for this latest collection of stories, he set some of the stories in all 3 places that have been important for him during his life, namely India, where he was born and grew up, England, where he immigrated to and lived for many years, and then America, to which he came to America in the year 2000. So he's been here for 25 years. He lives in New York City, and he is a U.S. citizen. Now he's still a writer. He's written 23 books. He also teaches journalism part-time at NYU, in a course on narrative nonfiction. And he's been married many, many, many times. His next to last marriage was with Padma Lakshmi, the Indian American cook who's super famous, who's always on TV on those cooking reality shows. His first book that really, really made it big was Midnight's Children in 1981, which is a very, very good book. I read it when it came out. It won the Booker Prize, and it was about these group of people in Bombay who were there when the clock struck midnight when India won its independence from Britain in 1948. And then the next book that he wrote was called Shame in 1983, which was political satire about Pakistan. And the two main characters were based on the former president of Pakistan, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, who was very democratic and was elected democratically, and whose daughter later became the first female prime minister of Pakistan. And General Zia-ul Haq, who overthrew his government and ultimately had him hanged, supposedly for treason. And then his most controversial book of Salman Rushdie was The Satanic Verses, which came out in 1988. Now, this was very controversial because it was supposedly a book about Prophet Muhammad. Salman Rushdie was born into a Muslim family, but he declares himself atheistic nowadays, even though, very interestingly, he said that he's really interested in learning about all sorts of religions, and he tends to favor polytheistic religions, such as Hinduism, because there are many, many gods, and he said it's much more interesting to read about them and to write about them, which I thought was interesting. But in the Satanic Verses, his main character is, of course, is supposed to be Prophet Muhammad, who founded Islam. And in the book, the Satanic Verses refer to three supposed verses that Prophet Muhammad allegedly included in the Quran, but which were really from the devil and were not supposed to be included. And in these three verses, this Prophet Muhammad figure includes them, and it includes three gods that the people in Mecca used to venerate and pray to, who are in the Kaaba, that black cube that all Muslims pray towards every day, 5 times a day. Because before Islam, Mecca was polytheistic. There were gods everywhere. The Kaaba existed already, and it was filled with statues and images of all these gods that they venerated and prayed to. But in the book, the Prophet Muhammad character realizes that it's a mistake and withdraws those 3 verses from the final text of the Holy Quran. Of course, this deeply upset fundamentalist Muslims who protested across the Muslim world against this book. They burned down buildings, they killed people. Of course, Salman Rushdie got many, many threats against his life. And finally, in 1989, on Valentine's Day, Ayatollah Khomeini of Iran issued a fatwa against him, saying that anybody who killed him would be paid, I think, $1 million or $2 million. So he's had that hanging over his head for a very long time. For many years, he had to live under police protection in England because there were so many threats against him constantly. His book was banned in many Muslim countries, including Indonesia. I think India banned his book for a while too, Pakistan too. Saudi Arabia, where I was living at the time, also banned it. I remember buying the book in London in 1989, I think, and I brought it back with me to Saudi Arabia. And I don't know what happened to that book. I wasn't really impressed by it. I don't think I even finished reading it, but I wanted to know what all the brouhaha was about. So he talked about that last night, and he said most of the people who attacked him for writing the book admitted that they had never read the book. So at the end, at the end of this discussion he was having after his reading, he had a sit-down discussion with an American university professor from Ohio. And one of the things he talked about was about how Americans need to get out more and vote in presidential elections. Because he said, you know, so many people don't vote in America. And then when the wrong candidate wins, such as President Trump, they get all upset and they protest and protest and protest instead of having gone to the polls and voted for Kamala Harris or somebody else who was not Trump. He said shortly after Trump was elected the first time, he said he was passing by that gold tower in Manhattan, referring to Trump Tower, and he saw a small group of young demonstrators outside the building. And he went up to them and just, you know, and asked them what were they demonstrating about. And they said, oh, we're demonstrating against Trump. We don't like him, blah, blah, blah. Then he asked all of them if they had voted, and none of them had. Only one of them had voted. And so he was really disappointed. And I think he told them off and said, look, you know, this is sort of ridiculous that you're protesting after the fact when you didn't even vote. You know, election day was last Tuesday. Why didn't you come out and vote against Trump? So that resounded, especially with me and with most of the people in Jones Hall last night in downtown Houston. And yeah, so I urge you to get this, The 11th Hour. It's available at the Brazos bookstore, and it's also available, I'm sure, on Amazon. The list price is $29. It's around 250 pages long. Salman Rushdie also spoke about using humor in his writing, and he's really good at using humor in his writing, and it just makes you happy to read his books, where he's just so eloquent, but in a simple way, and the way he depicts different characters, you know, with all their foibles and all their shortcomings, but then he always puts in, you know, something likable about them. So you sort of fall in love with his characters, even though they may be grouchy, you know, mad all the time, but you sort of come to like them because you realize that they're really good people in the end. So check out Salman Rushdie. Buy his other books, Midnight Children. It's very good. Buy the Satanic Verses if you're interested, and then buy The 11th Hour, which is his latest collection of short stories. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye-bye.